Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Molly. Today we're going to be making Swiss steak. For Swiss steak, you will need 2 pounds of beef, either rump, round, or chuck, seasoned flour, 1 sliced onion, 2 sliced carrots, and 1.5 cups of tomatoes, either stewed or canned. So the seasoned flour is pretty simple to make. It gives a separate recipe for that, but it's basically you just add 1 to 2 teaspoons of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper to 1 cup of flour. Just mix it thoroughly. So it was for the beef. I went to the store and I had intended to purchase one of these 3 choice cuts in beef, but I was looking at the recipe and I saw that you have to pound it with a mallet or a tenderizer, and we'll get to that in a minute. And I was like, not sure about that. So I saw that they had cubed steak, which I know Dan's grandma always makes Swiss steak with cube steak. I thought I would just pick up some of that and use it instead. The reason why I am hesitant about tenderizing the meat myself is because I received this as a gift. It's a tenderizer and made to look like, I guess, brass knuckles. I don't know my weapons very well, but anyways, it really hurts my hand to use this to pound meat. But in the unfortunate event of a home break-in, I'm going to be ready. Let's get started. Now, if you don't have an aversion to tenderizing meat, then the recipe says to do this. It says to cut the beef to 1 to 1.5 inches thick, wipe with a cloth, rub seasoned flour into steak, or pound it with a wooden mallet or the edge of a heavy plate. Not brass knuckles. So my step is done, and I'm going to dredge this in a little bit. This is a 1/3 cup of the seasoned flour. You might need more, you might need less, but recipe says a 1/3 cup. And I'm just going to stick it on a plate, and I bet I'm going to need a little bit more. Okay, so the meat has been browned, and I'm seeing that there's a lot of these brown bits at the bottom of the pan that I'm thinking probably have a lot of flavor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1/3 of the tomatoes. And I'm just going to So I'm going to add I'm adding 1/3 of the tomatoes, and I'm just scraping it to get those brown bits up. I'm going to add 1/3 of the carrots. I'm going to layer all this stuff. So I'm going to add 1/3 of the carrots and 1/3 of the onion. It doesn't say to saute the carrots or onion, so I'm not going to. I think it should still turn out pretty good. It looks like they did cook down a little bit, so I'm going to just top it with the rest of the tomatoes. I'm going to put the rest of the carrots on top. And then the rest of the onion. My carrots and onions were really big. This was a really big onion. I probably could have gone away with not using all of it. I may not use all of it because that's a lot of onion. But there isn't a whole lot of seasoning in this dish, so maybe that a lot of onion's a good thing. I don't know. I've never made Swiss steak before. Kind of break those up. That's a lot of onion. I think that's enough. Okay, so then we cover and we're going to just let it simmer. I suspect I may add some water to this so that it doesn't get too dry. I should probably add the rest of my meat. Nobody said I was the brightest. Okay. All right, now we're ready. All right, our Swiss steak is done, and Dan is here to help me taste it to see how it turns out.
Hey, everybody.
All right, you ready for this, Dan?
Oh, yeah.
I hope it's like Grandma's.
Me too.
It's never like Grandma's. All right, I'm gonna give you some meat. Whoops, and there's some onion that went with it. Let's get you some tomato and carrots. And then that's just a small taste. So this didn't have very much seasoning in it. So, and honestly, I've never made Swiss steak before, so hopefully this turned out well. And I don't think I mentioned what book this was from. This recipe, I believe, is circa 1944, 1940s era, and it's from the Women's Home Companion Cookbook, which was, I think, republished or copyrighted around 1944. So, an oldie but a goodie. Let's see.
Surprisingly good. It's got pretty good flavor, and it's really tender too for being a hamburger steak.
I think it needs a bit more salt and pepper, personally. Yeah. And I think a little bit of Worcestershire, I don't know, Worcestershire, whatever, you know. I think a little bit of that would really be good in this. And what's nice about this dinner is that I started it on the stove top, and I had intended to cook it for like the hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half on the stovetop, but then I decided I wanted to take a walk, but I didn't want to leave the stovetop on. So I was able to just toss it in the oven. So I like the versatility of that, being able to do that. I thought that was nice. And I kind of think this is cool because it's like you could add really whatever kind of vegetables you wanted to this.
And flavoring too.
Yeah,
like
and flavoring.
Any kind of seasoning would be better than bland. A little bit.
Well, it needs more salt and pepper.
Yeah.
So no, but otherwise, I thought it came out pretty good. Not bad.
No, and it tastes pretty close to what Grandma made, except for the carrots. She didn't use carrots.
Shoot.
Can't make it like Grandma.
Can't make it like Grandma. Well, there you go. Swiss steak.